Behold how good it is, and how pleasant when brethren dwell in unity.
This week's Torah portion covers Deuteronomy 7:12 to 11:25. The Israelites are still camped on the opposite side of Jordan, poised for entrance into the land. But these are Moses' last moments with his people. These are his last words, his parting wisdom. Moses summarizes the last 40 years, all of their highs and lows. Even though he is speaking to a new generation, people who have never known anything other than desert wanderings, he recalls the events as if they too were eyewitnesses. He rebukes their lack of faith and reminds them of the golden calf at Sinai, the fearful report of the spies, the rebellion of Korach, their complaints about food. Moses promises them that if they remember to keep God's commandments after they settle the land, all will be well with them. The 40 years of manna in the desert was meant to demonstrate their reliance on God. They are now set to conquer a land rich with pasture and agriculture. Knowing the tendency for abundance to stifle humanity's hunger for God, Moses warns, man does not live on bread alone, but by the utterance of God's mouth does man live. More than food, Moses is most concerned with the prevalence of cultic worship among the tribes residing in the land. Deuteronomy, more than any other book in the Torah, is zealous in its condemnation of idolatry. Moses warns against intermarriage and even intermingling with the pagans. Pagan influence, Moses understands, will be the biggest cause of defection among the Israelites. Under a desire to assimilate, they will surely turn away from the one true God in favor of the local false gods. To protect the people from pagan temptations, Moses demands that upon entering the land they should dismantle the foreign altars, smash sacred stones, burn molten images, and cut down the poles to Asherah. Precautions are even put in place in the 7th chapter of Deuteronomy to prevent the people from pilfering idols strictly because of their gold and silver. It was not just worship of cultic symbols that was forbidden. Ownership of them for their material value was also detestable in the eyes of the Lord. They must burn the idols rather than bring them into their homes. If they do hoard molten images, God promises that he will treat them no differently than the defeated pagans. Deuteronomy fervently designs measures to protect the Israelites from idolatrous practices. This includes the way Deuteronomy reenacts the narrative of what transpired at Sinai, compared to the same account in Exodus. The Deuteronomist includes far more anti-cultic rhetoric than Exodus. According to the Deuteronomist, God was angry enough with Aaron for his complicity in the golden calf episode that he was determined to kill him, but Moses intervened. In the Exodus account, no mention is made of God's anger towards Aaron. The Deuteronomy telling is a much more cautionary tale. The moral is that no participant in idol worship is beyond divine punishment, not even the high priest. In Deuteronomy, when Moses recounts God's giving of the tablets on Mount Sinai, he emphasizes the auditory portion of the experience and downplays the visual. Moses warns the people, "You saw no form of any kind the day the Lord spoke to you out of fire." The implication is that they should be careful and withstand the temptation to make idols to represent the Sinai Epiphany. Though they witnessed the descending cloud, dark smoke, and bright lightning atop the mountain, it was the voice of God that they heard from heaven. They saw no image. To this day, Judaism and Christianity are religions that look to the words of God rather than the form of God. We look for God's handprint in the acts of history and his intervention in our lives. We eat and drink from the canonized words that have sustained his people for over 2 millennia. As worshipers of the one true God, avoiding molten images seems obvious. Deuteronomy's anti-pagan rhetoric may be glossed over as redundant. What is less obvious, however, is still true. Though we have never seen God's form, he still speaks, and it remains our job to do the hardest thing of all, to listen. Shabbat Shalom.
Behold how good it is, and how pleasant when brethren dwell